Alright, homies. So, yeah, once again, we're gonna be doing another Real Talk discussion, right? The last Real Talk was I think, like, the EVO, like, leaderboards, right? Yeah, where we talk about, like, the number of people registered to compete for all of the 8 games in EVO 2020... where's my chopstick? Hold on. There you go. Of EVO 2024. So, we did that, right? And that was pretty good. But now we're gonna go into another topic of Real Talk discussion, and this mainly, as a prelude to this mainly stems... Let me just get, like, the trailer up so that y'all understand what I'm, like, talking about. There you go. And there you go. And it's about this game. This game. It's a new Bleach game. Or actually, let's put it to, like, over here, right? That's better. And the topic of discussion is about, well, this is like a prelude to it, but, there was an announcement back on Friday. Friday at Anime Expo. At Anime Expo, there was a trailer for a new Bleach game. Like the infamous, like, manga / anime written and created / conceptualized by Tite Kubo, Bleach, right? There's gonna be a new Bleach game, and it's called Rebirth of Souls. This was announced on the second day at Anime Expo last year. This was, yeah, out of nowhere, Bandai Namco is publishing a Bleach game. Characters look sick. Characters look awesome. It's like a quote-unquote accurate, like, Bleach game, you know? We've only have like one trailer, right? But I remember, like, the trailer, I was like, you know, yo, is this a Bleach fighting game? And then I looked more into the trailer, and it's like, I don't know if it's like an actual, like, big boy fighting game, you know? I don't know if it's an actual big boy fighting game. And the more I look into it, the more I heard more of, like, the words from, like, the devs in the studio. It was nothing but, like, fluff, honestly. I mean, great people, but, like, they were just, like, talking about the graphics and the visuals and, like, you know, the accuracy of Bleach, right? It will be up to, like, the story will be up to the Arrancar arc and so many, like, others, sorry. It will be up to the Arrancar arc in the Bleach story, and it's not going to include, like, the later arcs, like Fake Katakura or, like, the Lost Agent, or even, like, the most highly anticipated one, which is still, like, getting like, more episodes in, and is still in production. The 1,000-Year Blood Warfare arc, right? The Quincy Warfare arc, you know? But again, we looked more into, like, the details of the Bleach Rebirth of Souls game, and apparently it is yet another arena fighting game. This is, once again, another arena fighting game. The only, like, amounts of fighting, like, in this trailer are, like, the ones shown off in this one trailer alone, and we don't have anything else to go off by except for this one. You only get, like, some shots, like, here. Damn, I took, like, a nice shot. Wait a second. Holy crap, that looks good. Here is, like, a good shot. like a good like action sequence. Here is also a pretty stellar one. Like the game like looks good. My only like biggest worry is that is it gonna be your typical like just pump out like every year or every like 6 months an anime fighter just for the sake of like, you know, Bandai Namco has to own like the license, therefore we must make something out of it, you know? And it kind of like is, you know? It kind of like is. I was really like hopeful for like a Bleach like traditional like fighting game, but no, it's like an anime fighter, right? And this kind of like brings to mind like a discussion about like the whole arena fighter like discourse, right? I would like call it discourse, right? I don't know if anybody else in the anime arena fighter community would call it like discourse, but yeah, like this is once again, well, outside of like, well, another game we'll mention, another like fighting game. This is like another like anime that has to be like shysted, has to be like shysted by like the typical like dronings of like animes, you know. I'm getting kind of like sick. I'll just like say it like flat out. I hate like arena fighters, right? But even then, like I can't like say that for myself for like certain, because I used to like own arena fighter, anime arena fighters back in the day, you know. I was like a big fan of Naruto. I was a big fan of Naruto when I was a kid, and I had like actual like copies. Like I still have them here, right? Give me a second, you know. I still have my arena. I have like the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games. I have like 2. I have 3. I have Storm 4, and this is like the upgraded pack where we got the Naruto's like kid, which is like Boruto, you know. So I have been playing arena fighters like, and I didn't like mind them, right? I was playing like a holy like metric ton. Once again, I was like a big like Naruto kid, so I would just like get fighters after an anime like game after an anime game, because, you know, because big like title anime game like Naruto, I just loved the shit out of the series, and I would just get like whatever system like owned, I would get like the requisite like title I would get. I would get like the Ultimate Ninja games. I did have like a PS2, so I got like Ultimate Ninja games. I had the Storm games outside of like 1. I got like the aiding Clash of Ninja games, like the Clash of Ninja 1, 2, 3, 4, the Revolutions, or Gekito Ninja Tyson for you like hardcore anime fans, you know. So I did have like Naruto games like growing up. I was a big fan of Naruto, you know. But then as like I got older, as soon as I got like my PS3, I started diving back into traditional fighters like Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and those shits were like my jam. I love like those fighting games, and I just like altogether stopped playing them. I mean, I did play Storm 4 on the PS4 because I wanted to like see like the story mode and stuff like that, you know. But it was only until I think like, well, no, yeah, I was playing like traditional like fighting games, and I slowly like, as the rise of like my interest of traditional fighting games, 3D, 2D, whatever the kind, slowly like rose up, the dip for arena fighters slowly like waned down. It actually like hit a drop when I saw the first trailer for Jump Force, right? That everybody knows this like game. This was the most hyper realistic anime arena fighter like to date you had like anime like protagonists and antagonists fighting each other in New York, and like New York, the Big Apple. And that shit after release, it was negatively like reviewed upon, even though like it got DLC like stuck for the lot. I don't know how. Probably like, you know, people still play it. But that was like the nail in the coffin for me. Like, god damn, that game was like, I remember watching it. This was like before streaming with my friend, with my homie, it's amazing, his cousin Reed, his brother Ryan. We were all like in this like room together, and we were watching like the Xbox showcase, and I don't know about them, but I was like, yo man, what the fuck is this garbage? What the fuck is this garbage? I'm sure they were like thrilled, but like, you know, like. And then like after Jump Force, there were a lot more like anime like fighters, or even to an extent like anime like genre anime based like games that are not like arena fighters, that were just like, you know, all over the place. There were just like so many of them, you know. We got like what was it? Demon Slayer. We got a My Hero Academia fighting game. We got a Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash fighting game. We got a Curse Clash fighting game, and we got like updates to Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. We got like more characters, and it actually consists from the actual like sequel show / manga, like the Boruto show, right? So there's been a lot of arena fighters, right? And my only like problem with arena fighters, or like my literal hatred for them, is that these games are really just meant for the hardcore like casual fans of those like so animes, right? Like for example, Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. Those are like the biggest like animes right now in today's modern like era. Everybody loves like weird assholes. Everybody loves like getting like, you know, clutched by Gojo or the blonde asshole Nanami. Everybody likes Demon Slayer for, you know, I mean, most of those animes are cool. Demon Slayer, you know, not to like throw my hot takes into like, or not really hot takes, but like my opinions on both of those animes. I mean, like Demon Slayer is cool. It's simple yet effective, right? That's all like really is just, you know, hoisted so much by the animation studio behind it, Ufotable. And when you look at like Demon Slayer's like animations, oh my god, it looks so fucking sick, right? It like makes like, you know, the simplicity nature of Demon Slayer actually like elevated because of how good it looks. And Jujutsu Kaisen, right? That animation also looks really good. I did hear like complaints here and there about like, you know, overworking the staff to make Jujutsu Kaisen looks good, and it actually is rumored that it actually is announced that like the season 3 will be coming very like soon for Jujutsu Kaisen, or the show. But I think it's like overhyped. You know, a lot of people like really like Jujutsu Kaisen, both guys and girls, you know. I see the appeal of Jujutsu Kaisen. I read like the manga myself, but like it's just, yeah, it's just over. It's just like so much of it I see on like Twitter, on Twitter or things like that, you know, like it's super fucking noxious at this point, you know, like, yeah. And Bandai Namco being like a super well-known like publisher, like they make good games like Armored Core, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, right? And what do they do with those like anime fighters? They just make them into, you know, yearly or every like 6 months cash grab games of those like fighting games. Dude, when Jujutsu Kaisen first like came out, everybody was like on board with like Jujutsu Kaisen, even though like it's an arena fighter. But when they looked at like the game at like itself, it's like even like Jujutsu Kaisen fans were saying like, yo, this is kind of ass. You know, like why do the menus look like DVD quality-esque menus? Why is the gameplay kind of like janky? You know, like these games are there for like low investment. They're as quoted by like Z Damascus, and he had like a whole like tweet about it. Like it was pretty much like the same feelings that I have, was like pissed off that like, yeah, a Bleach game like looks really good, but it turns out to be another arena fighter, and it is the typical behavior of Bandai Namco for publishing out like a low investment, like a low cost like anime fighter, and that will grant them some like net money worth in like return sort of thing, you know? Like it's so like garbage, man, because that's like what I'm sick of with like these arena fighters, right? Like again, they're there for the dudes and dudettes that, you know, are just gonna play the game like a couch like weekend together and just like play the game because that's like their favorite like anime or manga, and have like no like information on like the game like itself. It's a game, go have nuts, go nuts, it's fun, it's all your favorite like waifus and husbandos like duking it out together, you know? So I'm just like kind of like sick of them, you know? I want like the ultimate like thing I want to have for these like animes that are turned into arena fighters is I want these games to like evolve, you know? I want them to be like big boy fighting games that could be like showed off at mainstay like Evo, and don't have like the stigma of being like called an anime fighter because the title associates them with that, you know? Like Bleach, right? Like Bleach has been like the one wish I've been having for an actual like big boy Evo competitive level fighting game for like God knows how long, right? And Bleach has some history with, you know, fighting games, right? Remember the Heat the Soul series? That was a big fucking franchise. That was a big fucking sub-series in Bleach. Had like 8 goddamn games on the PlayStation Portable. It was a 3D fighting game that went all the way up to, I think, like when Ichigo got the upgraded Berserk Hollow form, or when Ulquiorra got like his Resurrection. Like, and it looks so fucking cool, right? It actually plays like a fighting game, so they have like history here and there, right? Their last game before the Heat the Soul series was that Musou game, Soul Resurrection, right? And was like, yeah, like as much as I dig like the Musou games, it's not that great on like repeat, because yeah, like big swarms of like bad guys, and you could like, you know, pummel them as much as you can, but like the thing about Dynasty Warriors-esque gameplay, right, which, you know, some people like it, I surely like don't, is that it gets like repetitive over time. You're fighting like the same drones, or you're fighting the same like big dudes over and over and over again. Like it's very like small. There's like a new Dynasty Warriors game, like Origins or something like that, and people are jazzed about that one. I just don't find them interesting, right? Like I played like that game. There's also like One Piece is also like another like side wish I would like to have for, you know, an anime to be like a big boy Evo competitive fighting game. and they have also made like fighting games back in the past, but they were more like, true arena fighters, right? They were true arena fighters. Like there was like One Piece Grand Battle. There was also like One Piece Burning Blood, where it had like assists, but it was made in the vein of like the Naruto Storm like games. So that gets them like a little bit of ire. The peakest of like One Piece like games would be like the Pirate Warriors game, where, you know, big like mobs, because I feel like that's where One Piece is suited for, you know, the Dynasty Warriors-esque element. That feel like it fits, so I'm not worried about One Piece. But for some animes like Bleach, like Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, right? I feel like those would be better if they were like made as fighting games, you know? And it's just disappointing that they are shafted by those like opportunities. Tamsoft. The developer is Tamsoft Corporation. You want to know what they did? They developed the Melty Blood game. They did Captain Tsubasa. They did others like Senran Kagura, right? If we like look them up. Tamsoft video games. Yeah, they did a lot of like games that they did like under their belt. Battle Arena Toshinden on the PlayStation 1. And this is like an infamous fucking 3D fighting game, you know? Back in the day. So, yeah, there's like a little bit of like, you know, things in there, but still though, it's not like they did like Melty Blood, but who developed Melty Blood like in-house? French Bread. They just like helped like a little bit. It's not like a whole bunch. I'm pretty sure they did like mostly these games in particular, right? They mostly did like Onichambara and Senran Kagura, like these types of like games, not like Battle Arena Toshinden. Back in the day with these like anime fighters, fighting games were like all the rage, man. Everyone was like an anime fight. Everyone that had like an anime like title, it was made like an anime fighter, right? You know, the biggest example of like a pedigree history of like back in the day, a lot of like fighting games was Dragon Ball, right? You know, and this is like the one exception that like Dragon Ball has in comparison to other animes that are out now or are still like being like developed, you know? Dragon Ball has a history of fighting games, right? Albeit low budget, but they had like Budokai, they had Infinite World, they had, what was it? Sparking Blast? At Sparking Blast. Of course, they had their own adventures with the Tenkaichi games, and we're getting a Budokai Tenkaichi successor called what was it? Sparking Zero. Yeah, it was Sparking Zero. That's right. What was the other one? Blast or something like that? But Dragon Ball has been seeped into like fighting, because that's what the core of Dragon Ball is like these 1v1 or even like 3v1 or 3v3 fights between good guys and good characters and bad characters, all the way back to like the PS1 was like, what was that one game? All the way back to like a PS1 Dragon Ball game called Ultimate Battle 22. And there were like others like, what was it? GT Final Bout. So Dragon Ball has been cooking with fighting games ever since like the dawn of man. And on 2018, when they announced that Fighters is going to be a legit like big boy fighting game, it was a roaring success. Not only were fighting game fans happy and wanted to like jump on and try Dragon Ball Fighters, but even Dragon Ball fans were jumping on and trying out this game, and they had a blast. Outside of, you know, very technical stuff that came out in like day one or even like month one, like rage quitters and the not rollback netcode, the delay based netcode. Dude, the amount of popularity that Dragon Ball had was so much that on like the year one of the year one of their Evo 2019, people were screaming, like actually becoming Dragon Ball characters whenever the in-game characters would scream. Like,
oh, one more time for Evo. You already know what time it is. Give it to me. Oh! That's the sound of a perfect attack incoming. Talk to him. My beautiful people of the world. Scream. So here we go. Oh, that was so loud. Talk to me. That was music to my earlobes.
Shit, man. Dragon Ball is the one example where, yeah, like if this were made as like a fighting game, you look at like the popularity and the spike of increase, the spike of exponential growth that Dragon Ball had, and it's huge. And now Dragon Ball is still like a well-beloved like fighting game like to this day. Now it got like a rollback netcode update, and now it's going to get in the process another balance patch. And how many characters does it have? Oh my lord, probably like 50 plus. Probably like 50 plus of Dragon Ball memorabilia, you know? Old school and new school, you know? So it's successful. I don't understand what's like the problem with like the other like animes that can't get like a fighting game like out, and they're just pretty much stigmatized to a low budget game, you know? Sure, like, yeah, Multiplat devs, well, not really French bred, but Tamsoft, that were just like a co-producer of that. And even like in the game description, it's going to be like fighting, there's going to have like turnabout mechanics, right, to them. So it still doesn't convince me that it's going to be a legit like fighting game, and it's going to be like, you know, bottom of the barrel down to a arena fighter. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm sick of these arena like fighting games that are just made with like no interest, like no passion in mind to make like a big boy like competitive fighting game, and are just there to, you know, just pour out numbers, right? Granted, right, Bleach does like look good. It does look good, you know. The visuals are stunning, and the graphics and the effects like going out here and there, it's pretty goddamn awesome. But man, do I want it to be like, you know, an Arc System Works, you know, published and developed 2D fighting game, you know? Like, I just want these like animes to evolve and actually bring in people that are not new to anime fighters, kind of like a Dragon Ball Fighters effect, you know? Popular anime plus like a fighting game like engine / quality equals like, you know, like a good summation, a good result. But no, Bandai Namco making like just low tier ass like quality after like quality. That the song wouldn't look, damn, was shouting so much that I actually had to take a mean shit. A lot of like these like anime fighters, a lot of these animes like Jujutsu, One Piece, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, right? They just get shafted by like arena fighter like corporate nonsense that I want them to see like their full potential as a not arena fighter, and be like a big boy like competitive Evo type of game. But unfortunately, that's not gonna like work because, you know, Bandai Namco is like the way it is. It's been doing this shit since like fucking Jump like Versus or even like in the Jump like DS games, you know? So they're gonna keep like pumping out like an anime fighter after anime arena fighter after anime arena fighter, because that's like the market, right? That's like the market of this like of those like crowds, right? Yeah, you love anime, right? Here's like a low cost, low effort, low investment arena fighter that you can play with like your friends and go nuts because you love Jujutsu Kaisen? Go ahead. You love Demon Slayer? Go right ahead. They're probably gonna make one for future like shonen animes. You like there's already like one right now of like the one recent anime that's been popping off lately, Kaiju number 8. I love the anime. I love the manga. I have gripes with the anime over the visual style, but that anime is raw. But that series is raw. And it already got a game out of it. It's just like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? So yeah, that's like my beef with anime fighters. Like, I wish for them to like change and evolve and actually get like actual studio backing and have at least some consideration of what the ideal anime like ideal game that comes from that anime, you know? I'm sick of like this shit of like tossing out like an arena fighter, so on and so forth. We've seen this multiple times. It's like a yearly like Call of Duty. Every year there's like a Call of Duty, you know? Call of Duty fans may be like happy or mad for every like new release, but still though, it's kind of like every year there's always something. Or not even like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed. Almost every year there's a new Assassin's Creed. It's like getting disappointing at best, you know? So I want them to like change, you know? Some animes can be figured out with the right like formula, like One Piece, for example. One Piece works as a Dynasty Warriors type of like game. They can try other ventures, like they tried, what was it, Odyssey, which is like a Batman Arkham Asylum game, but even then that didn't work. They tried, what was it, there was an RPG like One Piece game, but that also didn't like work. So it's just usually like a luck of the draw, but you have to have like the right formula. You can't just like, oh, big anime go boom and like in the audience viewership, let's make a game out of it, you know? Like, I'm sick of like this shit, you know? I'm sick of anime fighters.